What it do, YouTube? It's your boy MB, ready to do another daily breakdown of the S&P 500 on the futures market. So ESH 2024 is the current contract that we're in. Today was a bit of a doozy, to say the least. But yeah, let me get into it. So I'm going to start real fast with a zoomed in 5-minute chart that shows yesterday real fast to kind of recap what happened after hours. So yesterday you had the one play of the day, and then at 5 o'clock we have the market reopening, and this demand zone ended up failing. So that was the first time and the first signal that let us know that sellers were in control. Here we have another demand zone around 5 to 6 p.m. I ended up taking along here along with some of my team. And at first it offered some pretty good returns. You know, we were in at 50.12, and it went up about 5 points before selling off pretty hard. So this became the second time that this demand zone failed. And then so we get this close down here below it. So this one now becomes invalidated. At this point, I texted my team that we just need to be keeping a mental note that this is the second demand zone that failed. We were all long at different entries, but we all got stopped out. So if this trend continues, then we need to be on the lookout for shorts tomorrow. And I wish I had taken my own advice because it's exactly what happened today. So if I pull up what ended up happening overnight as well as today, we'll resume with this fail number 2. Catch another demand at 8 p.m. and this one holds. We have another bounce here at 2 in the morning. And from here, we have at 5,001, about a 10-point move before it gets rejected. So this previous demand zone was acting as resistance, which sends us down. So that became fail number 3. Here we have a fourth demand zone where we get a bounce at 5 in the morning at 49.95. Same thing, this one offered a little over 10 points, 13-point move to the upside before once again failing. So that was fail number 4, all before market even opened. So if I zoom in now, we have this candle at 8, this giant red candle at 8:30. So market opens, closes below this demand zone. So now that one became invalidated. So you have fail number 4. And so at this point, you know, I should have really been looking out for shorts. But the thing that I noticed is that the demand zones were still offering pretty good returns. So we sell off into this other demand zone here, and I end up taking this long. So this was play number 1, and it worked out really well. And I'm glad I didn't try holding for a bigger move because, again, we only had about a 13, 14-point move to the upside before failing again. So I ended up getting out here. That was a pretty good win. I did not take play number 2, but this was another good setup. So this was a good short from this previous demand zone, and that was a 20-point move to the downside. Now you could have targeted here demand zone number 5, but like I said before, they kept failing, so it was a good idea to probably hold through this. So this failed again, so that was failure number 5. But then once again we have another demand zone which ended up holding down here at 70. Now, originally, I had it at 73. This is what my demand zone looked like at first. Oops, not that one. It was like this. So I ended up taking along at 76, and I could have been a little bit more patient and waited for the bottom of this demand zone down at 73. So I get stopped out there, but it ends up holding. Oh, let me go to a 5-minute. It ends up holding. So you could have taken this if you were just a little bit more patient. And then this one offered was a 20-point move from 70 to 90. So you could have got 20 points to the upside. I would have taken profits once we approached this demand zone. I would have thought, since if you had taken it here at 70, see how it acted as resistance at 82. And it sold off, so could have taken 10 points, but ultimately ended up holding for a 20-point move to the upside. But this became play number 4. This supply area, VWAP was acting as resistance for about 30, 40 minutes, and then we had a really sharp sell-off 30 minutes before the close. So if you got in short up here below VWAP at 92, you could have caught about a 15-point move to the downside in about 30 minutes. I didn't take this short either. I really wanted to, but at this point I was already done for the day, and I was a little bit hesitant because we got over this demand zone. Because we closed over this, I was worried about retracing to the upside, but of course that ended up not happening. Another thing is that this play reminded me a lot like last week. If I zoom back out, I think it was last Wednesday. Just come back here. Yeah, so we have Wednesday. We had this rejection at VWAP, and then we sell off 10 points. And then the day before that, on Tuesday, same thing. We have this rejection on VWAP where we sell off for 15 points. So I really wanted to take this short. Ended up not taking it. But it ended up working out. And days like today are pretty tough. Although these demand zones ended up holding and offering some pretty good results. Ideally, you probably would have wanted to get in on these shorts. Short in here offered the better returns, and you didn't have to worry about demand zones failing. Obviously, they say hindsight is 20/20, so it's good to do these daily recaps just to be prepared for another day like this. And I need to take my own advice. Where if these demand zones just keep failing, buyers are constantly being flushed out, and just listening to the market, not fighting the trend, seeing that sellers in control. Right now, what we're seeing is that on a daily chart, we finally have. Well, this is the second time or in a couple of days that we're breaking this uptrend, all the way from October 27th. So giant uptrend. We're starting to crack it here at all-time highs. So something to be on the lookout for, especially with these last 2 days where it seems like sellers are starting to take control. See, on the 4-hour chart, we closed below it. But who knows, by the end of tomorrow, with news, we could start to get back into this uptrend. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., we have FOMC minutes, so that's going to be pretty volatile. So we'll end up seeing what happens tomorrow. I'm definitely going to sit on the sidelines probably, just because we might chop around until 1 o'clock when news hits. Or we could have another repeat like today. But we'll see. That concludes today's breakdown. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Let me know how you did today. Overall, I finished pretty flat on the day. A grand total of $3.70. So better than a red day, and I'll take that over losing everything. But all right, y'all. I will catch y'all tomorrow. I love you.